Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it up on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough with the phones already. Put them down and pay attention, or pay the price. You drive, you text, you pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
On today's Smart 7, could the UK economy be bouncing back? New search for Madeleine McCann and lots more. It's Wednesday the 24th of May, it's National Coffee Day, and happy birthday Jim Broadbent.
The Smart 7. It's news, but
Not the news. Steady yourselves for a second. There was good economic news on Tuesday. Yes, after a litany of grim stories about inflation, recession and general gloom, the UK finally got some positive news as the International Monetary Fund announced that Britain had been hauled back from the brink of disaster. IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva was positively encouraging as she outlined the latest report, which shows a recovery from the Truss era.
The UK authorities have taken decisive and responsible steps in recent months. Their efforts and the recent decline in energy prices are beginning to have a favourable impact on the economy.
And while inflation remains high, they expect that if current policies stay focused, the UK could reach the Bank of England's 2% target by the middle of 2025. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, beaming like a schoolboy on the last day of term, admitted that there's still work to be done to keep things on track.
So together these forecasts demonstrate that we're on the right path, but the job is not done yet.
One of the major concerns for the economy remains Brexit, with dire warnings from car manufacturers last week over batteries. UK Trade Secretary Kemi Badenoch is in Qatar at an economic forum, but she says a solution is coming soon.
I would want to say to car manufacturers that we're very alive to this issue. We have been looking at it long before the story with Stellantis broke, so we should see an answer soon.
300,000 nurses started voting on Tuesday over whether to continue to strike until the end of the year. And they weren't alone. Junior doctors plan to strike in June, and council and school support staff in England and Wales are also currently voting on future strike action. It comes as the government's anti-strike legislation proceeded through the House of Commons. Unions have been vocal in their opposition to the bill, which sets new minimum level of service requirements. Onay Kasib is the national lead officer for Unite and says it's a bad bill.
This legislation, it's unworkable, it's undemocratic and it's unnecessary. We'll look at creative ways to get round the legislation.
And General Secretary of the RMT union, Mick Lynch, speaking at a protest outside the Houses of Parliament, says it's unnecessary and Labour should make its repeal a priority.
This law is doomed. We don't think it will work, and we believe and we hope that the next Labour government will repeal it as soon as they get into power. That's what we're being told, but it will be up to us as a trade union movement to keep the pressure on Labour so that they don't renege on that commitment.
Things are getting complicated in Russia's war on Ukraine. Fighting appears to have continued in the Belgorod region of Russia as claims and counterclaims make it difficult to tell exactly what's going on. Moscow claims to have destroyed 70 armed insurgents who crossed the border and attacked a number of towns and villages. Ukraine, on the other hand, says the attackers are Russian patriots who want to see regime change in the Kremlin. The governor of Belgorod, Vyacheslav Gladkov, confirmed on Tuesday that what he called the counter-terrorist operation was continuing and asked evacuated residents not to return.
The sweeping of the territory by the Ministry of Defence and Security Forces continues. About returning to homes, we will report right away when it is safe.
Vladimir Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov says the whole thing's intended to distract from Russian gains in Bakhmut and there's nothing to be concerned about.
Of course, what happened is deeply disturbing. The special military operation is also continuing in order to prevent such infiltrations in the future.
German and Portuguese police spent Tuesday searching a reservoir about 30 kilometres from where Madeleine McCann went missing in 2007. The search comes after photos and video of the area were discovered in the belongings of the principal suspect, German citizen Christian B., who's already in prison for other offences. Former head of the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Command Centre, who was involved in the original Maddie investigation, Jim Gamble, says the fact that German police are involved suggests there's good intelligence underlying the search.
So I do think this is significant. So if it's focused, if it's deliberate, if they're following lines of inquiry, this is an important step forward.
Still to come on the Smart 7, the death of a shamed star and musical reboot of a Spielberg classic. Right after this. Welcome back.
The Premier League wraps up on Sunday, so there are only a few games left, and Wednesday night sees Brighton hosting Man City. City are already champions and chasing a treble, but Brighton have secured European football this season and will be keen to cement their success. Another team already in Europe next season's Newcastle, who've a good chance of finishing third. Manager Eddie Howe's only the third Newcastle manager in history to lead his team into the Champions League, and he knows it's a significant moment.
It's amazing to have done it, and the former managers that have achieved that here are club legends. So I have a lot to prove, I feel. But when I came here, creating history and trying to bring success to Newcastle was very much on our thoughts of what we hope to do.
Rolf Harris, the former artist, entertainer and convicted paedophile, has died aged 93. He had been suffering from neck cancer and died at home. He's already been cremated. He was an international celebrity, even painting an official portrait of the Queen, before accusations in 2013 and an arrest under Operation Yewtree led him to spending 5 years in prison for the indecent assault of teenage girls. ITVX dropped a two-part documentary called Hiding in Plain Sight last week, which follows the rise and fall of a man who never expressed any regret for his crimes.
Rolf Harris was the fourth to be charged under Operation Yewtree, launched after the Jimmy Savile scandal.
Rolf Harris faces 12 counts of indecent assault.
Can I ask you for your reaction to the reports that you've been arrested on suspicion of sex offences?
No comment.
Rolf Harris had a sexual interest in underage girls and a tendency to use his celebrity status with impunity.
If you're planning to reboot a movie, you'd have to think twice if the original was directed by Steven Spielberg, starred Whoopi Goldberg and Danny Glover, and gave Oprah Winfrey her breakthrough role, right? Well, they've done it anyway. There's a new version of The Colour Purple on the way, except now it's a musical. It's got a stellar cast including Halle Bailey, Daniel Brooks, H.E.R. and Taraji P. Henson, and it's produced by Oprah and Steven Spielberg. It hits cinemas this December.
It's time for you to see the world. There's gonna be some changes made.
Put it on. This ain't me. Hush. We need to look like we belong. Let's see this smile and color. Sweet and loving God.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.